Today we're going to be working on this MintyBoost from, well, the company is Make, but they do Make Magazine and all that on YouTube. It's a USB cell phone MP3 charger. Requires 2 AA's and soldering, and it's supposed to fit in this. So we're going to work on that. And I've got my solder here and my soldering iron. It's warming up so that we'll be prepared when the need arises. I put paper towels down just as kind of a clean surface to have, because we've been working on something today and I didn't feel like getting grease all over my parts, etc. Inside this tin we have a little card. It says, "Thank you for choosing this kit, designed in New York City by open source hardware pioneer Adafruit Industries in partnership with Make and Makershed. Just follow the instructions at Makershed/MintyBoost to build it. Requires basic soldering and 2 AA batteries and your gadget's USB cable not included for obvious reasons." Just going through a parts check, we have an LT102 chip, IC, and the carriage for it, as well as the USB female connector. It's a 6-pin, or actually it's a 4-pin, but it has the grip on it. Anyway, we have that. We have our AA battery holder with leads built in. It looks pretty solid. And we have, is it 100 written on it? It's a resistor of some sort. We also have a 220 microfarad 6.3 volt resistor. A diode. Let's see, what does it say? I'm not good with this. N5817 diode. The board itself printed to have the necessary diagram there. Little diode thing, and that's where our actual USB is going to go. Back of it's got all the solderable contacts and Adafruit's little flower. So we also have what I'm assuming is foam board, because I'm not familiar with all this stuff, but I'm assuming these are foam board squares for insulation and protecting contacts, etc. Whatever these are, I think they're capacitors. I can't remember off the top of my head. Itty bitty little resistor. I'll put the actual parts list in there because I'm going to be taking notes so that I can redo this later as well with just an Altoid scan. This one is a 220 microfarad, just like this one. So we have 2 of those. Another one of these itty bitty ones. An even smaller resistor of unknown value. And these 2 resistors, which are different from the other 2 blue ones. And our tin. So yeah, there's our parts. Okay, so I went to the website. It showed on the card, it shows to go to makershed.com/MintyBoost /MintyBoost. And that is incorrect. If you go there, it just gives you the, here you can buy it. So I went to Google Images, found some pictures of just, here's a somatic, here's a somatic. These are both somatics, so you can look that up, and that's all well and good. It turns out, to actually do the how-to, because I didn't want a chance burning it up, you go to www.ladyada.net/make/MintyBoost/solder.html, and that is where you go for that. Alright, I've soldered it all up. I clipped the wires from the battery, so I should have left them really, probably, but this is what we're left with. We've got the IC in, dot this way. We've got the inverter. We've got these two capacitors. We've got the two electrolytics. We've got all 5 resistors, one of which you can't see because it's under the shield, or not the shield, the carriage for the socket for the IC, which is in place. The diode, and all we lack as far as on the actual board is the USB connection, which will fit right there. And this is basically it. Size comparison. I am going to have to cut the hole out right there, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So, alright, now I've got some batteries, and we're going to test to make sure everything's running right, everything's getting the right voltage, etc., etc. I'm going to have to check my reference just to make sure I got everything right. So delivering power, 20V. Alright, had to make sure also what setting I need. It should be about, on the thing here it says 5.08 is about what it's getting. We're getting 4.95. Let's see. That could just be resistor differences. Should get a bit higher than 5, but we're not. Let's see. It's not a big deal. It's not below 3, so we're fine. Right, and the second and third both be about 2 volts. And grounding it over here, 1.97, 1.97, so that's working. Alrighty, that's our voltage check on the little thing. It says to feel both the batteries and the board, and if either is hot, take out the batteries and check your soldering, because there's not supposed to be any overlap over certain parts, and that's how that would happen. So I am use Panasonic Alkaline Plus. I don't know if that has any bearing necessarily on what happens, but you never know. Alright, well, I've soldered in the USB type A connector, yada yada yada. They said to put lots of solder on this, but since it's just kind of a hole, it all ends up going to the other side. But because these two pins right here and right here are the ones that actually kind of hold it on, that you're supposed to keep those on. And then the other 4, you're just supposed to solder like normal. So we are going to test and see if it will charge my iPod, which I have uploaded a couple videos from. I have a wall wart, as they call it, right here. It's a USB, and that's what I usually use to charge it, so I know it works. So we'll go ahead. Cable's frayed, I get that, but it works still. It doesn't really matter too much. We shall insert batteries, and then shall plug it in and see if it works. And it does, and I keep forgetting that I didn't trim them good enough on the bottom. So that charges my iPod, which means it is pulling the correct voltage because they only charge, I think, at 5 volts and 3.3 maybe. Not sure on that. But they'll charge at 2 different power voltages because of programming and crud like that. So we know it charges that, and that was the one I was kind of more worried about than the rest. Put that back over here. Now we'll try my phone. Plug that right in there. I am taking the label off slowly and laboriously, which I probably should have left it on, but hey, I didn't. That's a mistake I'll make once. And it came on. So it says it's charging. I think. Yeah. Yep, it's working. Had to make sure. This cable's a little faulty because of the connection in this, which that's from it being a hand-me-down, plus it's an old cable anyway. So we know it works. Now all there is to do is to put it in here. I'm not actually going to do that because that would short it right now. Take the batteries out and I'll do that. It's an important part is to remember that this phone board is for the bottom of this so that it doesn't short out and stuff like that. I'm just gonna, okay, yeah, it is just a phone board insert. So I'll go ahead and kind of press it up against everything. I don't know what this square is for over here. Okay, I get this one's insulation. That's why it's like that. But just a little update. I said as soon as I got the label off, I would post again, and coincidentally, I got a new iPod. Between now and then, it's considerably nicer. So while I was about to do this, I realized, hey, I might want to check the cord with this charger just to make sure. Like I said, here's the charger. I keep the batteries just wrapped up in paper towel. Seems to work pretty well. And to clarify, yes, I did clean off the tin with some of this wonderful stuff. It does work. I know it looks kind of cheesy, but it's magic. And I managed to do that with all the parts inside, and to my knowledge they haven't been fried because I've used it a couple times since then. And yeah, so just slip these Panasonics in, and we shall take that, and then I'll grab the iPod and this. Also have a 30-pin to 8-pin lightning adapter, but obviously because I just have the lightning cord, I don't need it. And almost immediately we have a charge. So it does in fact work with 5 devices, or generation 5 devices. Again, I had mentioned that earlier about the wiring. I had to make sure it would work with the devices because that would be my main reason for having it instead of just the phone.